indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may all be seated. Thank you all for attending, those that are here today and those that are here virtually. We appreciate it. We'll move on to the agenda. It's a lengthy agenda today. Reports. Board members may have a discussion about conferences, visitations, legislation, special recognition, donations, etc. Before I start, is Ms. Kravitz on?
Yes, she's right in the middle.
Okay, there's Ms. Kravitz. And we have Ms. Millen virtually and myself, so we do have a quorum. I want to recognize that. We do have a quorum. So board member reports. Does anybody have any board member, anything they'd like to discuss? Ms. Kravitz.
I have one thing I wanted to make sure that we gave a big shout out to everyone who has worked tirelessly in the district and rolled through the punches when things are not perfect. I am deeply grateful as a board member, as a community member, and as a parent. Thank you.
Duly noted. Thank you. Ms. Mullen, anything?
No, I couldn't agree.
Very good. We'll move on because we do have a lot of ground to cover. Thank you. Superintendent's report. First agenda item, model of excellence board. Ms. Thompson and Ms. Huntington.
Yes, very excited to have the Model of Excellence Award being on the agenda tonight, and I'm going to turn it over to our Executive Director for Career and Technical Education, Ms. Lori Honeycutt. I don't see her name on here. Mr. Champagne or Mr. Champagne?
No, I don't see her.
Okay. Mr. Karam, would you like to introduce our special guests?
Yes, I can do that. We have Miss Shelley Travis from National SkillsUSA, and she is our National Director for SkillsUSA, so I think she has a few things to say.
Welcome. Welcome to our governing board meeting.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for celebrating the success of our students tonight. Thank you, Mr. Graham, for the introduction. Good evening. I'm Shelley Travis, the National Executive Director for SkillsUSA. And on behalf of our national officers, board of directors, and national staff, I want to congratulate Kofa High School on being recognized as one of our National Model of Excellence recipients this year. Before we discuss the SkillsUSA Model of Excellence program, recognize the Kofa chapter, I want to take this time to recognize a few key players and have them introduce themselves. On the webinar today, we have Lucia Lopez and Oscar Garcia, SkillsUSA student members that delivered the Model of Excellence presentation. Lucia and Oscar, would you please introduce yourselves and let everyone know a little bit more about you and your involvement in SkillsUSA and your program?
Oscar, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here with all you guys. My name is Oscar Garcia. I'm a 3-time SkillsUSA student. I was a construction tech student all 3 years. I was ambassador. I was an ambassador for my program my junior year, as well as being a leader my senior year. And it was it was something amazing to be part of the Models of Excellence this year, competing for Kofa, and winning was amazing.
Hey guys, my name is Luisa Lopez. I have been in SkillsUSA for 3 years, 2 as a member and 1 as a state officer. And I can say that definitely I have improved in my social skills, my communication, and everything that's basically in the framework. SkillsUSA is really helpful for me, and it was such an awesome opportunity to be able to, do this competition and being able to try to help other people to reach these goals.
Thank you, Lucia and Oscar, for all your hard work and your initiative in planning successful chapter activities that elevated the awareness and garnered support for career and technical education programs at Kofa High School with local and business and industry leaders. To have an outstanding chapter like yours, it takes a lot of support, and you have wonderful support from your greater Kofa High School community as well. Tonight we have two Kofa teachers and SkillsUSA advisors with us, Mr. Bradley Graham and Jamie Nicewander, and as well as Kofa CT instructional leader Norman Champagne. So thank you all for your continuous support of your students. I know it takes a lot of time and dedication, and I really do appreciate everything that you do to have such an outstanding chapter. I'd also like to take just a moment to recognize one of my staff members that makes this program possible. And tonight I have Gail Sylvie with me and possibly Marcia Strickland. Gail and Marcia work tirelessly to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our SkillsUSA chapters, especially our students every year, and work very closely with our Chapter Excellence Program and our Models of Excellence Program. They really do make the magic happen at the national level to make sure that we can do these things for our students, and just wanted to share that with you tonight. Again, thank you for allowing us to join you this evening to celebrate the success of your students. And I understand that both the superintendent, Ms. Thompson, and Associate Superintendent, Ms. Anderson, have joined us at the SkillsUSA National Championship and National Skills and Leadership Conference in years past, and thank you for your continual support of your students. It takes a community from administration to our instructors and dedicated instructors and advisors and our students to really make it all possible. So I appreciate your continued support, and I think in no other place do we have a greater opportunity to impact someone's life in such a short period of time as we do in career and technical education and in SkillsUSA, and truly change a trajectory of not only a student, but their family and the communities that we serve. So thank you for everything that you do for your community and for your students. Now I want to share with you a little bit about the Models of Excellence program. The Model of Excellence is an honor, is a part of the SkillsUSA Chapter Excellence program, in which success is measured by how well students apply essential workplace readiness skills. This program recognizes the integration and application of the three components of the SkillsUSA framework: personal, workplace, and technical skills into chapter activities. And these are those all-important employability skills that our employers and our business and industry say that our students need. The Model of Excellence is one of the highest awards bestowed on chapters by SkillsUSA. Only 3 chapters of the 5,000 we serve each year is awarded this honor. So I hope that you are so proud of your students, and Oscar and Lucia, that you are proud of yourselves as we are very proud to call you our SkillsUSA members. Specific characteristics within each skill area ensure tangible benchmarks for student achievement and chapter programming. Achievement is measured by the effectiveness of students in implementing the chapter activities, including personal responsibility, integrity, work ethic, and organization. The hands-on approach of the program actualizes SkillsUSA's mission of empowering members to become world-class workers, leaders, and responsible American citizens. The Models of Excellence program represents the very best in chapter achievement and community involvement. Lucia and Oscar, you represent our future workforce and reflect a very bright future for your community. The Kofa High School chapter focused on the workplace skills component of the SkillsUSA framework and the essential elements of communication, teamwork, and leadership. Networking with the Chamber of Commerce is a proven way to build business partnerships, and members of the Kofa SkillsUSA program take advantage of such opportunity with a Chamber Mixer event. During Good Morning Yuma, members were able to promote and showcase career and technical education and SkillsUSA, while extending an invitation to business leaders to become involved in career and technical education. Students from different SkillsUSA sections partnered to prepare presentations, design centerpieces, and plan follow-up site visits. For the centerpieces, students from different sections designed 30 charcuterie boards, which were given away as raffle prizes. The unique handcrafted boards involve the talents of construction and welding students, as well as an impressive assembly line. 7 chapter leaders prepared presentations that wowed audiences of over 200 plus business and industry leaders with information about the positive impact of CTE on their lives, their future career plans, and an invitation to join the CTE Advisory Board. Students took this a step further by planning and managing and organizing classroom tours to further the conversation. Site visits inspired business and industry leaders to learn more about chapter programs, and several joined the advisory board. It's such a great expression of support from your business and industry community as well. Communication skills shined during member presentations, and networking during the semester, and the ability of the students to articulate the value of CTE and SkillsUSA during site visits. Teamwork was evident in the cooperation shown in creating centerpieces and in taking a team approach to working with industry partners for the good of the chapter. Student leadership was apparent in every aspect of the presentations, in organizing and facilitating site visits, and proactively seeking business partners for CTE programs. An excellent example of new partnerships formed around the positive message of career and technical education and our future workforce by our students in SkillsUSA. You make me very proud, Louisa and Oscar, Mr. Graham, Mr. Neiswanger, and also Mr. Champagne, and to be the executive director of SkillsUSA. I want to thank you for your dedication to your community and to your high school. Earlier, you received your award in recognition of your extraordinary achievement in applying the SkillsUSA framework. Congratulations on being named once again the outstanding model of excellence for your application of workplace skills. Congratulations, Kofa High School, and congratulations, Lucy and Oscar. Do you have your award? I think you may have that. Mr. Grant, do you have that?
You see it okay?
You need to get centered. Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, and Mr. Graham's holding up theirs.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Thank you again for allowing me to be here with you today, and congratulations. It was truly the highlight of my day today to be with you and to celebrate your students.
Thank you, and I want to share that on Thursday, I'll be with the chamber again, and I'm going to take the trophy and show them virtually so that so many of them will remember December and that event. So thank you so much for joining us, and lucky Mr. Neiswander, he got lucky to be on the call today. He's a but I think Mr. Graham and Mr. Champagne are getting a good chuckle out of that. Welcome to the team, Mr. Neiswander. Thank you, Shelley, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, SkillsUSA. Job well done.
Louisa and Oscar, thank you for being on the meeting tonight. We're so proud of you. Can't wait to see you in real life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Take care. We're so proud.
Okay, moving on. Recognition. Jamie Neiswander, Positive Coaching Alliance Board. Mr. Graham's up. You're up.
Thank you, President Townsend. For the last couple of years, we have been working with the Positive Coaching Alliance to provide professional development for our coaches here in Yuma County. Through those partnerships, our coaches have access to libraries and videos and literature that they can share with their stakeholders involved in the program to get the most out of students and also be the best coach they can be. Yuma Union High School District is proud to recognize Jamie Neiswander for being the recipient of the Double Gold Regional Coach of the Year for 2020. He is one of only 100 coaches in the United States to be recognized by the Positive Coaching Alliance as a Regional Coach of the Year. Jamie was nominated by fellow Kofa High School teacher Amy Seeley and Kofa head girls soccer coach Santos Rangel. Coaches play an incredible influential role in the lives of athletes. Often, players spend more time with their coaches than anyone else outside their home environment. A double goal coach strives to win while also pursuing the more important goal of teaching life lessons through sports while teaching players how to honor the game. Feeling their emotional tanks and allowing mistakes as part of the learning process. In his 17 years as head boys soccer coach at Kofa High School, Jamie Nicewonders has had to use the goal to use soccer to shape students, athletes into what they need to be for a better future. To quote Jamie, character is our focus. Attention to detail in how they speak to each other as teammates, coming prepared, demonstrating a focused work ethic, showing up on time, and giving their best regardless of the outcome. Soccer comes after those things. Character just matters more. So we're very excited to have Mr. Nicewonder, Coach Nicewonder, with us today. Jamie, would you like to share a few words on what it means to be a double goal coach and your 17 years as a head coach at Kofa?
Can everybody hear me? Yes?
Yes.
It's a lot easier to speak on the field. First off, I would like to say thank you. It's very humbling, incredibly humbling. I like celebrating my athletes. I don't like to hear my name called in this. I want to say thank you to the board for being here today and having me here. Thank you to our administration, the district office. Thank you so much. Again, it's incredibly humbling. I can tell you, though, that it is a learning process, still a learning process. I still learn every day. I still strive to be better. I still feel as if I'm not adequate enough. I tell you what, it's inspiring hearing these stories. Right now, SkillsUSA, that was inspiring. That inspires me to up my game. It really does. And I'm glad to be a part of them now. So, no, all kidding aside, that's inspiring to hear that. I'm a big fan of school first. I'm a big fan of character first. Soccer, the sport I coach, it's just a sport I happen to coach. It's just a tool. I could not do anything that I do, though, and make an impact on any young people, though, if it wasn't for the opportunity to coach. I thank the district for that. I thank Kofa High School for that. I thank the ADs that had patience with me, still do, and my administration, because, again, I'm always learning. Back when I had John Blabe as my first athletic director, I've been blessed to be around some great people, some great professionals who were able to teach me and still do. Whether it was Darwin Stifler, my first cooperating teacher I worked with, whether it was John Blabe as my AD, and then Frank Garcia, Steve Palick. I was blessed to have the great Laguna to work with. I mean, wow! As a young coach, couldn't ask for some better names. Couldn't ask for a better influence. And I can tell you, every AD I've had, and I've had quite a few now, going through the list there. I'll tell you what. I've learned from every one of them, from Palick to Frank Garcia. We have King. I've had so many great influences on me that have come through here that I learned from. I've learned from every AD. I've learned from other coaches on staff, the coaches on my personal coaching staff that have helped us create this wonderful opportunity for kids. It's not me that does it. I can tell you that. One thing I'm good enough at is finding smarter people to work around me to help guide me. I can tell you that. I'm a firm believer in finding smarter people. From Chuck Sprawls, Bob Van Horn, Gunny Master Sergeant Lockhart, Jose Romero, Santiago Aguirre. The coaches I have now, Coach Cochise, Coach Owen, Coach Fuentes, Coach Preston, Coach Nestor Mullon and Aparicio, the legend in Somerton, Coach Victor Verdugo, Coach John, Lord, the list goes on. Now we have former players coming out as coaches, Coach Angel, Coach Damian and Santos with the girls program at Kofa. I feel so incredibly lucky to have had all those people around me to shape me. I've had great principals who were able to give me advice when I needed it, to give me tough love, to be honest, to bring my ego down when it needed to be, and still does. I've been blessed. I have. I'm lucky to be in a community to have great athletic directors, great secretaries, finance department that makes it happen last minute when we're trying to fundraise and make things happen for kids. The finance office is phenomenal. Again, the maintenance people who do our fields, those things are critical. It's amazing how many people it takes to make an impact. My name's on that thing, but I'll tell you what, that award is humbling. But I'm not the only one. I wish I could put some of the names I mentioned on here, all of them just piled up together on there, because it's not just me. I'm lucky enough to be trying to guide the ship as well as I can. Our booster, from Mr. and Mrs. Eldridge to Mr. and Mrs. Carr to now Mr. and Mrs. Garcia. I'll tell you, it's humbling, but I'm lucky to be in a great community. This is a phenomenal community to be an educator. Because that's really what coaches are. We're just educators. And we have objectives as well, just like we have those objectives on the board. The learner will, the young student athlete will. Play school is his priority. And character matters. And I'm lucky enough to be in this community where we have such phenomenally great kids to work with. I mean, look at the names of young people that have come out of this community in every aspect. We're really blessed in this community. We've had, Cain Velasquez, world champion, Irving Garcia go on to be a professional soccer player, Ibra Becerra in his soccer career at the national team. We've got so many great athletes coming out of every single high school here, every high school in our district. And the coaches work so hard to bring home titles and to create great young people. I'm not the only one, and I'll tell you what, it is very humbling to be identified as somebody who helps with that. But again, this is a tool, and luckily it's also a spotlight to help kids and get those kids opportunities. I said in the beginning, I still feel inadequate. I do. We've had 4 kids sign university scholarships this year. Nick Sullivan, George Gama, Jose Ramirez all signed with Park University. Aziel Vieja signed with Waldorf University. I feel inadequate because I had 3 other young men sign scholarships, but they can't go because they can't afford to pick up certain aspects of their cost for their education. I feel like I failed. I do. I'll tell you, it's a humbling experience working with these young student athletes in our community. And I strive to be able to provide even more for them, if possible, to try to do more for them, because our kids deserve it. We have great kids and great families here. And it's an honor to raise my family in this community and have my kids attend these schools. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and hopefully we can provide you with even more things to be proud of, hopefully one day.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie. Congratulations. Moving on, item 2.2.3, overview new teacher orientation. Ms. Anderson, Ms. Elgood.
The Yuma Union High School District welcomed approximately 75 new teachers this year across all of our 6 campuses. New teachers were introduced to what it means to be a new teaching professional, along with what it means to live and work in Yuma County. Our new teacher orientation program spans over the course of 3 days and is hosted by our teaching and learning department. And this year housed both asynchronous and synchronous learning opportunities. It really is the foundational piece to finalize the recruitment and begin the retention phase of working with our new teachers. It was a pleasure this year to work with a very talented team that consisted of our instructional coaches from the 6 campuses, Rita Spriggle, Brenda Higuera, Brenda Satley, and Wanda Ellis in our HR team, Crystal Buckley, our teaching and learning coordinator, Eric Patton, Melissa Elgood, and Eric Brooks. And this evening we have with us Eric Brooks and Melissa from our teams to give us an overview of what our new teacher orientation looked like.
All right. I think I'm the one that's supposed to start us off. Good evening, President Townsend, board members. Glad to be here to share a little bit about our new teacher orientation program. One of the things that's important for us in regards to our new teacher program is the outcomes of our program is that it kind of is a funnel. So we bring all of our teachers in past, obviously into one big room, so that way they can see that their lives are bigger than the 4 walls that surround their school. So if I've driven across country from Minnesota and I work at Cibola, I realize that other people have driven across the country from Minnesota to work at one of our other fine 6 schools. And so this is an opportunity for them to kind of all see each other. And so this year we did that same thing virtually. We usually give them a tour of the city by getting on buses and actually traveling around. And this year we did that same thing, but it was a virtual tour. So thanks to Mr. Patton and his ingeniousness, we had the ability to kind of watch a video where we had principals introduce themselves and introduce their schools. And so it was really a great opportunity for us to start out at the district level. The second day they were at their campuses, and then we brought them back on Friday again to kind of summarize. So Eric, if you want to go to the next slide, it kind of shows an idea. Melissa?
Good evening. So the orientation developed through Canvas as the major platform and through the use of Google Meets. As Ms. Anderson said, it was a mixture of synchronous and asynchronous. The teachers reported to campus on Wednesday morning. The ICs were the hosts, and they were able to help set up the new teachers up for success for the day. And it was really great because our teachers had the opportunity to experience Canvas as a student, so that they understood what it would be like for their students coming in on August 6th. We had a wonderful lunch that was provided to us by EA. And the model we used, in our next slide will show the schedule, is modeled after trainings we sent to our teachers through ASU and AVID, and is now become a pretty common format for providing sort of all-day trainings where you don't want people sitting necessarily in front of the screen meet all day long.
All right, as Melissa alluded to, we just give you a sample of our schedule. Again, the asynchronous and synchronous pieces. So when we brought people together for the live pieces, the first piece was really for them. We had all 75 people at some point get their voice in the room by just saying who they were and where they came from. Some of our greatest successes are the fact that we have a lot of students, or I'm sorry, a lot of teachers who were former students. So the Grow Your Own campaign that we have here in the Yuma Union High School District is alive and well. The other times when they were in the asynchronous piece, there were a lot of opportunities to watch videos and to get familiar with some of the people who we would usually have come to them live and have them spend time talking with. So they had the opportunity to do that in the asynchronous portion. We'd bring them back again for the live portion, ask them questions, banter a little bit with them, just to kind of model for them how they would do in a classroom with their students.
And then this was the part of the asynchronous part. This is just a sample of something like what one of the courses looked like that they worked through. And we had all sorts of different kind of categories for them to work on. We had a community part category. We had Canvas, we had AVID, we had health benefits. We had Mr. Reinhardt from as our health benefit representative come and speak with our teachers and allow them to answer their questions still. So it really allowed for a great way for teachers to see each other while also maintaining social distancing and being safe.
So the three of us, myself, Ms. Anderson, and Ms. Elgood, could obviously go on for hours and hours about how wonderful our teaching and learning program is. But we're going to give you a sample of some of the people who actually went through it to hear what they had to say. Eric, you're welcome to roll that video now.
Mr. Patton, I don't know if you can hear me, but we can't hear anything on the video.
Mr. Patton, I believe you're muted. That might be the problem.
Yeah. If you unmute, yep.
Can you start from over the beginning?
We still can't hear.
Mr. Patton, do you want me to try to show it on my screen?
Go ahead and give that a try. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, I've stopped it on mine, Melissa.
Okay.
The wonderful thing about this, similar to when you teach, you have to be able to pivot. And so that's one of many new things our teachers learn. So.
Rooting for us to be successful for the kids and in this new.
You guys hear that? I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, you can hear it.
And I feel like I'm able to try things and I'm not nervous of like failing because I know I have support.
No, I guess I really like how the district's Avid or implements Avid. The ICs did a pretty good job of explaining what it is today, so I appreciate that. As far as questions go, I think for all of us here, at least, you know, we're all learning and trying to implement it, but the ICs did a really good job of explaining everything.
I guess my comment would be that this whole week, everything's been hands-on, super engaging, and we had a lot of time to collaborate with other new teachers and get ideas for Canvas. It's just been the most stressless new teacher induction that I've had coming from other districts. So it's just been perfect.
I would have to say that I kind of, my was what the first person said, in that I have been in other districts, and first of all, the fact that you as a district leader are including us in a meeting with the whole district, that integration, that support, it's very impressive. And I have mentioned this, what I've run into in the last couple of days. I too support Avid. I'm new to it. I've been introduced a little bit through my NAU courses. Very impressed with the scale that it's being used. So I think it's going to be a great year, and I'm really looking forward to it.
The one that has hit me the hardest in the last couple of days is just the big emphasis on the building the community stuff. We've been talking about it now for what, 15, 20 minutes, but building that community and just being there for the students for this first week while they're trying to learn how to navigate stuff and we're trying to get stuff put on there. It's not content related, you know, just related to them navigating Canvas and getting into the course, submitting assignments, and just kind of reassuring them and being that voice and somebody they can talk to this first week or so before we even look at, for me, math or English or whatever your content area is, just being there for the kids.
All right. As part of the teaching and learning team, we thank you for the opportunity to kind of share what our new teacher orientation allowed us to do. And as you can tell by the number of comments, teachers really took to it and really did well with it. So we are grateful and off to a good start with this year. Melissa, anything you wanted to add?
Nope, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you all very much. That was a great presentation. Appreciate it.
President Townsend, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Thompson. Nailed it. Okay, moving on. Information items. Budget update. An overview of the 2020-21 UV Union High School internal budget. Ms. Cordery, you are up.
Good evening. So we have currently spent $2.9 million of our almost $70 million budget in maintenance and operation. I take that back. Let's start over. We have spent $3.6 million of an $80 million budget. I was on the wrong page. So we have spent 5% of our budget so far, 1 month into the year. You do see a couple of items that may look a little out of line. Specifically, our district maintenance, you can see they've spent 60% of their budget. On that one, that is PPE that we've purchased through our district. We do have grants that are going to cover that, so you'll see some movement in that line item. They really have spent that much money, but that will be reduced, and so that's not a true reflection of their budget at this time. And then in capital, we have spent $19,000 of $12.5 million of that budget for capital items to date. And that typically, we don't have a lot of expenditures out of there throughout the year. And we will have some bus purchases that will be a big expenditure this year for that. But other than that, that concludes my report.
Does any board member have any questions for Ms. Cordery?
No, thank you.
Very good, Ms. Cordery. Clear and concise report, I might say. Thank you. None. Item 3.2, first read policy advisory 672-676. Policies, IHA basic instructional program, KB parent involvement in education regulations, GBGB-R staff personnel security and safety, and then regulations, and this is first read only, are JICA-RB student dress and KIRB visitors to schools. Ms. Thompson, would you like to explain that and expand on that a little bit?
Yes, thank you. So just a reminder to governing board that regulations only come through once for a first read, and then they go into action into our policy for Yuma Union High School District. Specifically wanting to call out the regulations this evening. All three have to do with dress when people come to campus, and the regulations include cloth face coverings, both for visitors, employees, as well as students. And that will be a requirement for any in-person activity on any of our campuses or any of our properties. Also, I'd like to call attention in the regulation that there are some some things called out as far as if there are medical situations that someone is not able to wear a mask, but that would need to be addressed before planning to come to campus and prior to being on campus for any purpose. So it would need to have medical information with either a prescription or medical diagnosis from a healthcare professional in hand and pre-approved through the campus administration, not just a statement from the student or adult. So it would need to have medical documentation with it. This is already being observed by all employees on campus, and it is all adequately posted on all of our buildings and in all of our sites.
Any questions from board member? Hearing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on, item 3.3, Yuma Union High School District Mitigation Plan. Safety and security, Mr. Franz.
Thank you. I just want to thank, first of all, the campus teams and the district teams that put a lot of work into the Yuma Union High School District Return to Learning Manual and the mitigation plan. The regulations that were informed by Ms. Thompson actually are help supported in the mitigation plans, and essentially it is how we return to learning, what safety procedures we have on campus, when students and staff arrive, how they conduct themselves on campus with social distancing, with mask wearing, and how you leave for the day. We're very proud of our facilities department led by Jay Munoz and with the help and support by Anthony Herrera, who have spent an immense amount of time researching and providing PPE and placing orders. So we have plexiglass, we have hand sanitizer in all the appropriate locations, which is every room, and that our staff feels comfortable working with the public and our students, and that our students, when they do return to learning on the campus, they will feel comfortable as well. So that plan has been posted on our website, and Eric Patton has taken the work and made it look very professional, as opposed to what I had created on my own. Thank you, Mr. Patton.
Any questions for Mr. Franz? Yes, Ms. Kravitz.
Sorry, I have a quick question about teachers. Are they required to be in the schools while they're doing their virtual classrooms, or may they, go to work at home?
Yes, we have a large number of staff members actually teaching in their classrooms. If a staff member is not able to, they work with their building principal or whatever the extenuating circumstance is on why they're not in their classroom at that time. But large number of staff is on campus teaching and there for office hours as well.
And just a follow-up question about supplies. Have we run into any supply back orders? Have we not been able to get things, or have we been very wily?
You know, Anthony Herrera, who has been helping us out with our orders and keeping us organized, quite frankly, if it wasn't for him, we would have huge issues. So yeah, Anthony has done a great job procuring masks, gloves, hand sanitizer. There are a few back orders, but he's very quick to apply constant communication with the vendor to see when they do arrive in. So there are a few back orders, but we're working hard to get those filled. But we feel very comfortable that everyone has what they need to feel safe and protect themselves on campus at this point.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Granza. Thank you. Appreciate it. Item 3.4, update Yuma Union High School District's distancing learning plan. Ms. Anderson.
Thank you. On June 24th of 2020, Governor Ducey issued Executive Order 2020-41, prioritizing kids in schools during COVID-19, regarding the opening of schools for the school year 2020-2021. A requirement of the executive order was that school districts submit a distance learning plan prior to the start of the school year, prior to the start of distance learning, for approval to the Department of Education. From June 24th to the date that our plan was submitted, we had teams working across the district, not only at the campuses, but at the district level, addressing the areas of the plan before the plan was even a requirement. So it actually made the work of completing the plan and submitting it a lot easier. The plan included 8 areas, and it required detailed action steps of the what, the who, the when, and the how. And the 8 areas included teacher and staff expectations and support, connectivity, so that includes technology, so computers, hotspots, instructional methods, how are we going to monitor learning, meeting the needs of our students with disabilities and English language learners, social emotional learning support, demonstrating mastery of content, benchmark assessments, and attendance tracking. And like I said, our teams have been working throughout the summer, and so having clarity as to what was required for distance learning, bringing the teams back together, and completing the template. An example of the teamwork that addressed an area of the template, such as attendance tracking. We had a teacher group that Mr. Brooks and I facilitated, looking at how is the district going to track attendance for students when they're working remotely, and especially when the students are not participating in live instruction. So what is your attendance going to look like? We had to look at, or were able to look at, different ways of taking attendance, such as communication with the teacher. So it could be a phone call from a teacher would count as attendance. Students participating in virtual classroom sessions. As you see in our distance learning plan for students right now, they have classes at 9, 10, and 11 o'clock that are live. So if a teacher sees a student in the classroom, they can be counted for attendance. Submitting daily assignments, so completing an assignment would also count as attendance. But the teacher group also created, they wanted a teacher check-in or a student check-in form. And so they created a Google form, which is linked to every student's Canvas page. So students that log into their class, they'll go to their Canvas page and there's their attendance. So very different ways of collecting attendance, but also a way for teachers to be able to check in with students and see how they're doing. That data is collected. We have been, along with creating the plan, we're responsible for monitoring the plan and monitoring the data. And we ran an enrollment number from August 11th. And looked at also the data from last year. And on the same date last year, the enrollment of the Yuma Union High School District was 11,262 students. The enrollment on August 11th of this year was 11,446 students. That's an increase of 184 students to the Yuma Union High School District. And that includes the 6 high schools and our 7th high school, YODA, Yuma Online Distance Academy. And that was included in both last year's numbers and this year's numbers. for attendance reporting, are students engaged in their learning? And understand that different students have different needs with their learning. So some students are receiving their instruction via Canvas, some are receiving instruction via their teachers or packets. Our attendance rate and the students engaged in learning on August 11th was 97% of our student body. So as we continue to monitor our distance learning plan, the action steps that we have in place will continue with the data and continue to bring that to the board.
Very good. Any questions for Ms. Anderson?
I just want to also submit that that couldn't happen without amazing parents and amazing students. That while this is nobody's choice to have distance learning starting the school year. You know, to the governing board, I would say how fortunate I feel to live in Yuma, where parents are, we don't all have to agree, we all don't have to be happy about it, but where we do come together is for the benefit of our children. And I could not be more excited and more proud than just seeing this attendance rate. And I just look for it to be even better. But the true thanks goes to the families, the parents, and the students themselves for owning their learning and working with us to make this all happen.
Those are just amazing numbers, and I'm just proud of our teachers and administrators for achieving those numbers. That's just
I'm sorry, Mr. Townsend. I've had the opportunity of watching it in progress, and it's been almost seamless, and it's been so impressive. So thank you for that explanation, Mrs. Anderson.
Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
We'll move on. Item 4, consent items, adoption of items of routine nature and those that normally do not require deliberations on the part of the governing board. The board member may pull items which will be discussed and voted upon separately. Does any board member have any items that need to be pulled? Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the consent items as presented.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, second by Ms. Kravitz, that the governing board approve the consent items as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Moving on to item 5.1, action items.
What page are you on? I'm sorry.
Yes.
What page am I going to? I'm trying to get through.
It's item 5.1, consideration.
I think that's 68.
68. Yes, 68. Sorry, 68. The numbers are sideways. I have to turn it. Okay, 5.1, consideration to adopt the Yuma Union High School District Resolution RE COVID-19. It is recommended that the governing board adopt the Yuma Union High School District Resolution RE COVID-19 as presented. Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, adopt the Yuma Union High School District resolution for the COVID-19 as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, second by Ms. Kravitz, to adopt the Yuma Union High School District resolution RE COVID-19. Ms. Thompson, do you have something you would like to?
Yeah, I appreciate the resolution itself. Essentially, it puts into writing all the things that are the expectations of the superintendent as the designee of the board to bring you recommendations, as well as continue to maintain the safest environment for our staff and our students. So it is a very long resolution. It should be noted that this was presented to us from legal counsel, and it is a resolution being adopted across the state of Arizona by school boards.
And I might add, it is 3 pages long. If anybody, it is in our board packets and it is on our website. Is that correct?
It will be on
our website and on our minutes. Unless anybody objects, I'm not going to read it because I don't think we want to be here that long. Is there any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 5.2, discussion and possible action to establish and approve a date for the beginning of in-person instruction via the hybrid model. It is recommended that the governing board accept the recommendation of Superintendent Thompson for postponement of in-person instruction to no earlier than September 8th, 2020, with reevaluation of Yuma County health metrics as established by Arizona Department of Health Services. I'm going to go a little out of order before the motion. Ms. Thompson, you want to explain?
Sure. I think I'd like to just kind of revisit this aspect of the metrics and understand that districts across the state have adopted different learning, in-person learning dates, as to the direction of their boards. I felt it was important to honor the recommendation and the request from Governor Ducey to wait for the metrics that were established by the Arizona Department of Health Services. And in doing that, that we would look for the science and look for the expertise of healthcare professionals and look for the best and the safest starting time for our staff and our students. That being said, the metrics did come out, and the recommendation from the Department of Health Services is that these three metrics that are posted this evening, cases with a 2-week decline in weekly average cases or 2 weeks below 100 cases per 100,000 person population, the diagnostic test percent positivity, and the COVID-19 like illness syndrome, syndromic surveillance with 2 weeks less than 10% of hospital visits due to COVID-like illnesses. So looking at those three metrics, the county currently needs 2 of the 3. I am hopeful that with the continued monitoring of doing the preventions of wearing a mask, washing your hands, and continuing to be socially distanced, that our metrics will continue to climb. I will say the data is lagging data. So not only is the data that we are looking at that is published is from July 19th. So it is probably going to be a 4-week, close to a 4-week lagging data. It is my recommendation that we look at the opening on September 8th. The hybrid model may look different than the sample that we published, but I feel that this allows our teachers to be in their classroom, to get used to what that looks like, to make sure that we have all the PPE necessary and on hand, and that we continue to learn from our healthcare professionals. I'm also excited about working with Yuma Regional Medical Center in the next week for things that they have learned as our hospital, and for them to help continue to guide us to get kids into the classroom, but kind of going into this gradually and working together, because it's so important that not only are we keeping students safe, but without adults, we can't open school anyway. So it's really important that we keep everyone safe and healthy. Would like to share that, we're also looking at the demographic of our teachers as well as our substitute population. And there are just some interesting data sets that come out just looking at the adults that offer education in Yuma County. So we'll be looking at having a study session in the future with that, but I am thankful to every teacher and every staff member from wherever they are working and from all that they have done 7 days a week, 24/7 since March, and feel strongly about moving the start date to September 8th as my recommendation.
Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, accept the recommendation of Superintendent Thompson for the postponement of in-person instruction to no earlier than September 8th, 2020, with reevaluation of Yuma County health metrics as established by Arizona Department of Health Services.
Second.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, second by Ms. Kravitz, that the governing board accept the recommendation of Superintendent Thompson for postponement of in-person instruction to no earlier than September 8th, 2020, with reevaluation of Yuma County health metrics as established by Arizona Department of Health Services. I want to make a comment and then I'll open for discussion, but I'm not at all happy about continuing to kick the can down the road. I think we're in the education business and our students are suffering. I realize that we have not met the metrics at this time of the county, or it's set down by the governor and the state. I don't know that we'll ever meet the third metric because people aren't getting tested. Yesterday, their goal in Yuma County was 2,000 people. There were less than 200 tested. The people that are getting tested are people that are showing symptoms and people who have been in situations where they may be in contact with somebody. And unless we can get people tested to increase that, I don't see that number changing. I think that the governor is going to have to adjust that recommendation if that doesn't change. That said, I will support this change to September 8th, but I'm not happy. And I am very strongly hope that we can open our classrooms to students. I think they learn better in the classroom. I think it's a better environment for them. And every day that they're not in the classroom, they're lagging behind. And I don't want our students in this time of era to become known as, oh, you're the group that didn't get the really good education. And it's 10 years when they're down the road when they're trying to get a job and they're filling out the job application and they're going to look at their graduation year. Oh yeah, you're the classes that weren't in the school. And I'm very concerned about that. That said, is there any other comments or discussion? Ms. Kravitz.
Thank you. I also am not happy about this, but I fully support it. And I support it because I feel like we have to keep our students and our staff as safe as possible. And being someone who could potentially have great harm if we open up too soon, I'm grateful that we're willing to look at the metrics. I do have a question, Mrs. Thompson, which is at what date are you going to look at the metrics prior to September 8th to see if we need to continue virtual or if we're able to proceed with the hybrid learning?
And again, the metrics are a recommendation. It is not a shall or will. So I look at the metrics every single day. But again, thanks to Diana Gomez from the Yuma County Health Department, who is, she was just on a virtual meeting today with our nurses and Mr. Branza and Ms. Anderson. We continue to look at how, even if that metric is not able to be met, how we can best open in the safest possible environment. So I look at it every day. I reevaluate where we are, but feel strongly that that we can get closer and closer. And by September 8th, barring any other crises, since this seems to be the year of never knowing from one moment to the next, that these are recommendations, not shalls and wills. So I hope that our county can become closer. I hope that all of our citizens take this very seriously. I think we do see the seriousness, and that we continue to work together. Because if the metrics come down, if we're all working for the same thing, we're all working for the same goal, our students can come back to school sooner, but our staff has to be guaranteed that we'll be keeping them the safest possible environment.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Ms. Bellman, anything?
Nope, thank you. It's a tough time, but we'll get through this.
Okay, no more questions or comments. We'll proceed to vote. All in favor, let me repeat the motion. The governing board accepts the recommendation of Superintendent Thompson for postponement of in-person instruction to no earlier than September 8, 2020, with a reevaluation of Yuma County health metrics as established by the Arizona Department of Health Services. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on, item 5.3, consideration to accept donations. I will read them. At Cibola High School, Mrs. Amanda Coltman donated 3 books to the Cibola High School Library circulation. The estimated value of the donation is $55. To the Yuma Union High School District, the Yuma County Public Health Services District Public Health Emergency Preparedness donated PPE consisting of masks, gowns, hand sanitizer, face shields, and bottles to be filled with hand sanitizer to the Yuma Union High School District. Items were allocated from the state and procured via grant. Estimated value of the donation was not available. United Way of Yuma County donated approximately 4,000 3.5-ounce hand sanitizers to the Yuma Union High School District to be used at the discretion of each campus. Estimated value of the donation is $16,000. It is recommended that the governing board accept the above list of donations. Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, accept the above, or I guess the red donations with gratitude. Thank you.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz and seconded by Ms. Mullen to accept the donations as we read them. Is there any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on, item 5.4, consideration to approve job description of systems administrator. It is recommended that the governing board approve the job description for the position of systems administrator. The job description was in your packet. Ms. Corey, Dean, do you guys want to expand on it at all before we?
I just wanted to say, as we have moved into being a one-to-one district, we've added very limited capacity in our YETC department, our technology department. This year is no exception, as we had to move on a dime basically, and we added staff at home and we added many more laptops and trying to get everyone connected, and now students and connectivity. It is time. We've worked with District 1. They're also going to add this position, if it's approved tonight, to their staff. We just need people involved to be able to handle all those devices and moving parts and making sure they're operational. So that's why we're bringing this to you tonight.
I would just say included in all of that is just how mobile we've become as a society, and our district for no different. We have about 13,000 devices that are traveling around in our community right now on the District 70 side alone. And we just added 500 mobile hotspots to that mix in the last 2 weeks. And so that there's a management to all of that just takes a lot of time, and this position will help to manage a lot of that.
And I think it also warrants being added that every other system is now connected to technology, where so much used to be done by hand. Basically everything we do is in some kind of technology within the system. And we are very fortunate to have Mr. Farr and his team, who even in areas where they shouldn't have to provide so much leadership and management, all the way in the door systems and just, you name it, the student nutrition system, the board members every once in a while need help with technology. So, we are lucky to have people in our community that are so invested in the community, but there are only so many hours in the day, and we just really need that support and expertise.
Okay, is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the job description for the position of systems administrator.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz, second by Ms. Mullen to approve the job description for the position of systems administrator. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item 5.5, consideration to reclassify salary grade of chief financial officer. It is recommended that the governing board approve the reclassification change of grade of CFO from grade X to grade 14. Ms. Thompson.
Yes, very proud to bring this to the governing board this evening. Part of my position is an evaluation of the structure and the human capital of Yuma Union High School District. Over the years, our growth continued. We're fortunate we continue to grow. We are looking at adding yet another high school. We are well over the 20% by 2020 hope of the governor for raises for our teachers. We are at 22 plus, I say, because of the other one-time payments. And it is definitely a credit to our CFO, Diane Cordery. She knows, not only does she know what she's doing, she seems to, I don't know where her crystal ball is, but hers seems to work most of the time, at least in the finance arena, maybe not the COVID arena, but definitely in the finance arena. And we're just, she not only teaches us, but she really maximizes our dollars. That being said, her leadership is truly, the daily work is at the level that I'm recommending in the grade. And as I said, I couldn't be prouder, but also appreciate the fact that she continues to have us moving forward. We would not even be close to the situation we are in without her longevity and her commitment, her historical knowledge, her continued growth as a CFO. And that she just is always there looking to maximize the dollar specifically for all of our employee groups and the growth of our schools themselves. So couldn't be happier to bring this forward for the consideration by the governing board.
Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the reclassification change of grade of CFO from grade 10 to grade 14.
I second.
Okay, is there any questions or discussion?
Thank you so much for making gobbledygook understandable, Diane.
Is there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Diane.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Item 5.6, consideration to approve the job description of Executive Director of Federal Programs. It is recommended that the governing board approve the job description for the position of Executive Director of Federal Programs. Ms. Anderson.
The Federal Programs Coordinator has been in a position in our district for many years, and it has primarily been the oversight of all federal and state program opportunities, which really boils down to grant opportunities. And as you've heard from Mr. Farr and Mrs. Thompson, and the growth and how positions are evolving, along with the program opportunities and the grant come the requirements to write the grant, write the budget proposals, implement grant goals, monitor the goals, budget and evaluate the outcome of the individual programs. This position literally touches every department in our district and every campus. This past year, the Federal Programs Coordinator position was responsible for 12 grants totaling $7.5 million. So my recommendation is to move the position from a coordinator to an executive director program job title.
Is there a motion?
Oh, I move that we, the governing board, approve the job description for the position of Executive Director Federal Programs.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been made by Ms. Kravitz, second by Ms. Mellon to approve the job description for the position of Executive Director of Federal Programs. Is there any questions or comments? Ms. Kravitz.
With this movement, Mrs. Anderson, does the position remain grant funded?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 5.7. Consideration to approve the revised 2020-2021 compensation packet. It is recommended the governing board approve the revised compensation package for the 2020-21 school year. It was in your packet. I hope you all reviewed it. Ms. Thompson, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, just anytime we have any change, it will come back to the board. It comes almost monthly, especially during this time. Any change to the calendar or any kind of position changes such as we've had this evening. And we keep our compensation packet up to date and posted on our website so that people can learn about our district. So it'll just continue to come back to the board as we change.
Is there a motion?
I move that the governing board approve the revised compensation package for the 2020-2021 school year.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, seconded by Ms. Kravitz. We move forward to approve the 2020-21 compensation package. Is there any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Get back to where I was. Item 5.8. Consideration to approve the 2020 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement with Yuma School District 1, Arizona Western College, and NAU Yuma for the Yuma Educational Consortium. It is recommended the board approve the IGA for the Yuma Educational Consortium for 2020 through 2023. Mr. Brianza, this falls in your bailiwick.
Yeah. This is one of several IGAs that are on the agenda that are upcoming. This one actually is the umbrella one that does form the Yuma Education Consortium, which we meet monthly to discuss how we can best use each other's resources to provide the best the most opportunities for every student so they can be successful. So each one brings a little bit something to the plate, and with this group, we're able to take advantage of each other.
Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the IGA for the Yuma Educational Consortium for 2020 through 2023.
Second.
It is, the motion is made by Ms. Kravitz and seconded by Ms. Mellon that the governing board approve the 2020-2023 intergovernmental agreement for the Yuma Educational Consortium. Is there any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 5.9, consideration to approve the 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the Yuma Educational Materials Management Consortium. It is recommended that the governing board approve the 2020 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the Yuma Educational Materials Management Consortium. Again, Mr. Branson.
This is a partnership agreement between Yuma District 1 and YUHSD, and we share resources and warehouse and expenses to make sure both districts can have the mail distribution, the capital inventory distribution services, and Lynn Ford is the one that actually runs it, and with her expertise allows us to usually almost always take advantage of every opportunity to save for bidding.
Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the 2020 through 2023 IGA intergovernmental agreement for the Yuma Educational Materials Management Consortium.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Kravitz, second by Ms. Mellon to approve the 2020-23 intergovernmental agreement for the Yuma Educational Materials Management Consortium. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item 5.10, consideration to approve the 2020-23 intergovernmental agreement for the Yuma Educational Transportation Consortium. It is recommended that the governing board approve the 2020-23 intergovernmental agreement for the Yuma Educational Transportation Consortium, as well as the attached annual budget and fees schedule for FY20. It's in your packet, Mr. Brianza.
Yeah, this is a 3-year renewal, like the other IGAs, and this District 1 is a fiscal agent, but with cooperation with our CFO and their CFO, we come up with the budget, and Ron Sheepers, the director, does an outstanding job making sure that every student gets to be where they're supposed to be by the time the school bell rings every day. So this is just a 3-year extension.
Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the 2020 through 2023 IGA for the Yuma Educational Transportation Consortium, as well as the attached annual budget and fees scheduled for fiscal year 20.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz, second by Ms. Mellon to approve the 2020-2023 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the Yuma Educational Transportation Consortium, as well as the attached annual budget and fees schedule for FY20. Is there any questions or discussion? Yes, go ahead, Ms. Kravitz, sorry.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to say that when I first learned about all these IGAs, I was really a little bit curious. It's just so smart. It maximizes our dollars, and I'm so pleased that we are able to renew these.
Okay, any other questions or discussion, comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Oops. Going on to 0.11, consideration to approve the 2020 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the UMA Educational Technology Consortium. It is recommended that the governing board approve the 2020-2023 intergovernmental agreement for the UMA Educational Technology Consortium. Mr. Branza.
This is again a 3-year renewal of the partnership we have with District 1 and UMA High School District to have the Educational Technology Consortium, which is led by Dean Farr. And we already heard from him once already today, so I'm going to put him on the spot. But I think we witnessed the benefit of that partnership every single day with every single student and staff member because of the networking and the devices that are supported for everybody throughout the day. So this is just a 3-year renewal. And we are the fiscal agent for this.
Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the 2020-2023 intergovernmental agreement for the UMA Educational Technology Consortium.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, second by Ms. Kravitz to approve the 2020 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the UMA Educational Technology Consortium. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 2 more IGAs. Item 5.12, consideration to approve the 2020 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement with UMA School District 1, Arizona Western College, and NAU UMA for the educational access, television, and public relations. It is recommended that the governing board approve the 2020 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the educational access, television, and public relations. Mr. Brienza.
There are 2 more, but this is the last one that deals with the consortium, as it's known as. This is basically an agreement to help each other and use resources wisely when it comes to really public relations and print media and social media access and television. So just once again, it's a smart way to use the resources.
Is there a motion?
I move that we governing board approve the 2020 through 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the educational access, television, and public relations.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz, second by Ms. Mellon to approve the 2020-23 intergovernmental agreement for the educational access, television, and public relations. Is there any questions or discussion? I'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 5.13, consideration to approve the 2020 to 23 intergovernmental agreement for the Greater Phoenix Educational Management Council / Arizona Educational Management Council. It is recommended that the governing board approve the 2020 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the Greater Phoenix Educational Management Council / Arizona Educational Management Council. Mr. Brienza.
Okay, last IGA. This is also a 3-year IGA, but it's the first of its kind for our district. It's a mouthful. So the Greater Phoenix Educational Management Council, Arizona Educational Management Council, is also known as GovMag. So I'll use that as a short terminology, GovMag. This membership actually provides management services, programs, and activities to all its members. And basically, it also acts as a conduit of information from the Arizona Legislature, Arizona Department of Education, and the Auditor General's Office. And even though it says Greater Phoenix, it truly is Greater Phoenix because it's throughout Arizona. So
it's greater than.
It's greater than Phoenix, exactly. Now it is. recommendation to the governing board, it will be greater than Phoenix, but it covers all areas of Arizona. But the information stream that comes out of there and the help and support has already proved to be valuable to our district, so it'll be invaluable if the board does approve this recommendation and we're a member.
Is there a motion?
I move that we accept the 2020-2023 intergovernmental agreement for the Greater Phoenix Educational Management Council / AZ Educational Management Council.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Milne, second by Ms. Kravitz to approve the 2020 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the Greater Phoenix Educational Management Council / AZ Educational Management Council. Any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, we're all done with the consortiums. So our next item, 5.4, calling for executive session. Executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A. 1, personnel, to consider a personnel complaint. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
I so move.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz, second by Ms. Mellon to go into executive session. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We will go into executive session. We were going to be in this room, but it will be cleared and we will change. I think.
Can we leave this meeting and click on the other link?
Do they click out of this one?
Yeah, you can close this one and then go into your Google meeting, and then we'll set this up for the Google meeting. And then
Okay.
we'll come back
open session.
So don't lose this link.
Yeah,
Don't lose this link. We'll come back into open session.
Mr. Townsend, I can't hear you. Shelley, can you hear them?
No, are they?
I don't know.
I unmuted him, Dean.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we're back in session. Item 5.15, possible action related to personnel complaints. No action. Okay, I don't hear any. Future agenda items. We are going to try and have a special meeting on the 26th.
Yes, President Townsend, board members, we're planning to have a special meeting for the purpose of always popular personnel, especially this time of year when we continue to bring in new YUHSD family members into our hiring, as well as a study session to talk about our distance learning plan, what we've achieved, have the campuses feature some specific work so that it's very clear all of the very direct work and truly personalized experience that we're trying to offer for our students that I think will speak to the success of our data that we're seeing right now. And again, always trying to be better every single day. And we know that it's not perfect, but I do think it warrants a study session for all of our board members to understand all the different facets that are going on and how every single person in Union High School District is involved in making this a successful experience for families and specifically our students.
And what day is that?
Hoping for August 26th, please.
In the evening?
4 o'clock if possible, and if not, 5.
And this is the session or
It will be a meeting and study session because there will be some action items, so it will be both.
Okay.
4 o'clock.
Is 4 o'clock possible?
Yes.
I can do 4.
Okay.
So far,
Okay.
I think I
So
can.
book us first. So 4 o'clock.
That day's pretty full, actually. But I think at 4 o'clock I can be. Okay.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Anything else to add? Our next meeting will be that meeting on the 26th, then our regular meeting on September 9th, 5:15 here.
Yes, we look to have that in our governing boardroom on September 9th.
Are we hoping to have that an in-person meeting?
An in-person meeting, not depending on, we might still have to have virtual for some participants, but we will see how many people we can have socially distanced. So it would need to be either by appointment or by sign up, and then however we can fit people in appropriately.
And hopefully it will be our second day of
Hopefully it'll be our second day of hybrid in-person learning.
Okay.
Where is it going to be? I'm sorry.
Our regular governing board room.
Oh, you're not in the regular governing board.
Yeah, you're here on Avenue 8, the place that nobody's been for a while.
I forgot what it is. I forgot. Oh, goodness.
Okay, is there anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.